Thought I would have time to do a wrenching video also before this one, but apparently not, because now I will cover the bark beetles and a little more in this one, and I try to keep them, update them as soon as possible. Some of the traps, especially these ones with funnels, have started breaking on me. The other rectangular ones I had issues with the catch tray kind of migrating out, but I think reindeer might have pushed this one over because we found strands of hair on it, and it's a little bolt at the bottom securing the bottom part to the rest of the setup, and it falls very easily there because it's only one little screw there holding it in place, and then it relies on the plastic, and over time plastic goes bad. It's actually a security Torx, and since this one broke I've found a couple of more starting to break in this spot. And if you have followed my previous videos regarding the bark beetle problems, you know I did the upgrade to help hold these traps together with some small holes and zip ties at the top so they wouldn't come undone as easily. But then it needs to be undone and everything needs to be disassembled to fix the bottom part. And apparently the camera had run out of power as I was doing the drilling and so on. Luckily there are more traps and I recorded fixing those. More on that later. Had one of the household appliances go bad on me. It turned out the wire was worn in a spot, some new crimp connectors, and it should be good to go again. Received the forest plants, new saplings, little trees that are going in the ground, as I've covered in previous years. And I've had problem with it not being enough of them, being as bad as 20% some years back. Last year's one of the kinds, I can't remember if it was the pine or the spruce, that was like 10% off. So I count a couple of boxes and see that it seems to hold up. And this year I can announce that my supplier where I bought the plant stays, from what I can count, it seems to hold up quite well. There are between 3 and 4 plants off, but it goes both ways, both over and under. And since I won't be planting a monoculture, I will have a mixture of mainly spruce. I think it's like 60% spruce, and then no, maybe 70, and then around 20 pine, and then I've bought a couple of more of them large trees, lärk in Swedish, the Siberian variety, and they will be evenly spread out on the area where we did the cultivation last summer with the old forest cultivator, and it's been planted already. I was lucky enough, a friend of mine that usually helps out one day could come out and join me, and then my neighbor helped out 1.5 days actually, and his son a little bit. So that was really good. And it's been so cold and damp in May and early June that the miniature vampires, the mosquitoes and midges and whatever they are called, the little bloodsuckers, hadn't really fully started. Now they have, because we got hot weather last few days, and the bark beetles are up and running also. Over to them now. The first cleanup didn't really yield any bark beetle whatsoever. It was more this time, but overall not a whole lot compared to some previous years, so that's good. Hopefully it's dying down on me. Moved one of the traps out of the way a little. I think this one might have had the most in it, and as usually I forgot to record a couple and ran out of battery at a couple, but they are for sure out and about by now. Last time the known logs, the logging trucks forgot one piece, and here is the second broken trap. There were signs of bird poo on it. I wonder if a big bird landing on it could have broken it, or why it was laying over. It hasn't been overly windy, and that one is in a quite protected place regarding wind. And here I am to the trap at the area where a lot of stuff had been eaten, especially the pine. For some reason I think this is a spruce, but it was pulled up. Here is a side branch that is taking off as a new top on one of them that had been eaten off, but a couple of them look healthy at least, so hopefully some have survived. That one is looking really good. That's what it sprouted this year. So it has started. And here is the log that the logging trucks, it's not that big, but there is some signs that the bark beetles have attacked it. It's good to have a few of these, I think, to see how well they are reproducing. Next time I empty the trap, I will probably bring the knife and start scraping away and see how many eggs they have laid, and if they have started hatching, and if all of them seem to hatch. Brought the drone, gonna scan the property and see if that I don't have any surprises with windfall and trees. There was some, not storms, but some wind in the spring, and I know I have a couple of windfall and spruce that I've seen from the roads that I will need to keep track of this summer. Last time I emptied the traps, I had no sign that the bark beetles had started affecting any of the one log we had left on purpose. And as I do empty the traps, I try to pick out any bugs that are not bark beetles. And the last few traps here, they are close to the house where I started the drone. That's the northernmost point of the property, or northernmost trap. And the last three traps here, they are around the house, and this one had so few bark beetles in it, I emptied it in my hand and just crushed the few bark beetles I could see and let the rest of them go. It was mainly these big beetles that I'm not sure what they are really. And on the area next to the house that was planted some years back, there are also something that eats my pine, the tops of my pines. It's a nice little spruce there. That's something that has grown from a seed, natural regrowth, and it's flourishing here. It's getting quite green. This was cultivated with the excavator, and most of the pine looks good. I planted mostly spruce because this area is on a high hill, and they are, well, I'm not sure, but I have an area not far from it where a lot of the pine is affected by some fungus, gad or törskata in Swedish. But when it was so dry, when it was planted, a lot of the spruce died on me, so I've added some extra spruce since then and more pine, and the pine seems to really like it. Ran out of battery before emptying the last trap there, but it wasn't a whole lot in it. And here to repair the traps, as I started covering in the beginning of this video, I simply drill 4 holes instead of just the one and add 4 small screws here. That's it for this video, and I promise the next one will be a wrenching video. It will not be all bark beetle. It will cover replacing the turbo on the JCB wheel loader. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Thanks for watching.